Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Unlocked podcast. My name is Trisha Maxwell. And if you have not been in my circle yet, or if you're just getting to know me, let me tell you that this is the best episode for you to jump in because I'm going to give you a story that's very fresh, very new, but it's got great meaning for my audience. I am a high performance coach and I also am an online business coach. So I specialize in helping mamas build and grow their business from home so they can be at home with their babies and thrive in their family and just bring so much more joy and peace to their heart. That's really my mission because that's me. I went through quite a tough time trying to find that person who I was and who I am now. But it's been an amazing journey. And right now, that is just so passionate for me to bring that to other women. And here, this story that just kind of happened like within the last couple of weeks is really going to solidify my purpose. So the reason that I wanted to talk about this story is because for my clients and my students, I hear this a lot. They feel like they're lacking a little bit of support, especially mamas. They need that boost, right? You start to feel overwhelmed and as if you're just giving, right? And you need that in return. Oftentimes, our spouses don't feel that same way and they don't know that that's what you need. That's kind of hard to communicate, I think, too. I don't want to just go out and tell my husband,
I need you. I need you to support me.
I'm just not like one of those needy people. But I did, is one of those like, God, I'm not going to tell him that I need it because I don't need it that bad. Like, I'm a badass and I can do this on my own. But I really wish he'd just, give me a hug and tell me how good I'm doing and he's proud of me and all this. You really just need that from them, right? So this story is actually has nothing to do with that. And this is why I find this so beautiful because my story, I actually had the exact opposite. I have an overwhelming amount of support and too much support. I'm just going to go ahead and start with the story, okay? This started 2 weeks ago, Tuesday. I had my regular mammogram, right? Now you probably already see where this is going, don't you? Regular mammogram. Big deal. I put it off for a year. Actually, so I'm a year late because I'm just one of those. I'm like, oh, I just that and the colonoscopy and like, come on, I'm 46. Really? Do I need this? I'm not that old, right? Like, I just got more to do here. I just want to work on my business all day long. And those kind of things are just kind of pushed aside for me. Don't recommend that. So my mammogram that I had on Tuesday was a year late. They call me and they're like,
I think we're gonna have you come back and do a second one.
So that next Friday, I go into the second one. She's giving me a little bit more of a breakdown as far as the science, the anatomy, what it is they're looking for. I appreciate anatomy. They start breaking that down for me a little bit. I'm like, the nerves are probably, simmering, right? They're like, my little senses are kind of starting to tingle. And I'm like, well, it is kind of weird that they're doing a ultrasound on one side and mammogram on the other. So they say, yeah, there's two different things that they're looking at. So then I go into the office and the office, of course, has tissues and it's a couch. And I'm like, oh, no, I hate those kinds of offices. When I see tissues in the office, I'm like, get me the hell out of here. This is not good. And I'm probably going to end up hating the person that talks to me right now. Anyways, this lady that comes in, she's just freaking awesome. And she starts telling me what it is that they're looking for. And we're just waiting on the radiologist to kind of look at it and get his thoughts. So I wait there for like 30 minutes. And of course, the brain starts going, right?
Did I Google this?
So then they come in like, okay, he did see some things that require biopsies. So we're going to do a biopsy on both sides. Awesome. And I go,
oh, okay.
And then I'm like, hold back the tears, hold back the tears, hold it back, hold it back. Just keep your eyes wide open, blink a couple times and, swallow the lump in your throat. Just you're listening to her, just keep listening. And then boom, there go all the tears. And I'm just like, I can't hold it in any longer. And she's like, you're going to make me cry. Don't worry about it. We just do these because we need to, you never know until you try, until you look. I'm like, really? So you got to poke me with like giant pen-sized needles and pull things out of my body just to get clarification? Like, I think it's more than that. Had a little breakdown in my car. Called my husband, and I was like,
hi.
And I told him, and I just let it fly, and he's like, you're fine. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Really trying to just calm my nerves. I'm like, okay. If you're not fully submitting to the Lord and saying, I completely trust you, then you still have a little part of you that says, what if? And any part of you that says, what if, is not the Lord. It's the enemy. That's what you need to pray for, is that little bit of unbelief. Monday, I feel like the door starts to open to this new thought process, just something that was within me, and it wasn't conscious. It was just a little bit of a peace. And so I kept praying, Lord, help me with that unbelief. And that kept getting stronger and stronger, that unbelief part. But it was weird because I actually asked a friend too, like, how do you pray when you want good results, but you also are supposed to trust him? Like, does asking for good results indicate that you don't have faith in him? I'm just going to focus on being with God and just say, I trust you that you're going to do what's best on your terms, not on mine. So even if it's a positive result, that I do have something in there, maybe it is what's best for me for some reason or another. So I started to kind of dive into that feeling and just really live into that. Like, all I want to do is just get closer to God and understand that his plan is my plan, that I'm not living for my own plan. I'm living for his plan. So what I want isn't necessarily what's best, right? So I started to kind of resonate in that and live into that feeling. So Tuesday comes around, and that's my biopsy day. And my brother texts me, and I also have a golf fitting. So I'm getting fitted for a club, a new driver. My brother texts me. He's like, I'm thinking about you, sis. He's like, just how you doing? And I was like, I'm doing actually really well. I'm actually a little more nervous about my golf fitting than I am about this biopsy, which felt kind of weird. He was like,
Okay.
I thought I was kidding, but I really kind of was. I was like, I really hope that this golf fitting goes well. And so I go and I get those biopsies, and those were not comfortable, let me tell you. I could have done without it. So that's really when my bubble started to form. I felt when I was in there, I was completely at peace with the entire process. No, not a tear shed. Not a tear shed actually after Sunday, after church. So then we've got, those biopsies happened, and my parents are boo-hooing, I mean, in a good way, like not an annoying way. Husband's a little nervous. Brothers are both nervous. Sister-in-laws are nervous. And I'm not. I'm just at peace, and I'm starting to realize that I am starting to live into that. I just want to be close to God, and I don't really care what the outcome is because I know that we'll handle it. And I've had some people like, oh, okay, if it's positive, we're going to fight like hell. And I'm like, oh, I mean, yeah, but I don't need to, because God's going to do my fighting for me. So
Yeah, but no.
Wednesday, I have golf league. I go to golf, and I'm telling people about it. I'm like, just kind of casual. Oh, I had a biopsy yesterday. Yeah, today I'm getting my results tomorrow. So we'll see, prayers for you. Thank you. I appreciate that, but it was a very good day. Thursday comes around. That's my results day. I canceled my coaching call, which I hated to do, but I needed to get closer to the Lord. And so I sat in this room, right in that chair, got the Bible out, and read the entire book of Mark. And I have a study Bible, so it actually kind of explains some of the things too. So I did read a lot of the study portions as well, just to kind of give me a better context of what it was all about. And I tell you what, I just felt so at peace that day. And my parents are like, can we go with you? It's like, no. Is Sean going with you? No, he has golf league. Is that upsetting you? Like, how are you feeling about that? I'm like, I want him to go to golf league. I honestly don't want him there, not because I don't love him or not because I don't appreciate him being there for my support. For one, he's been through a health journey too. He just got a defibrillator put in and he's 46 years old. And that was like, a couple months ago. So we've kind of been through it. No, he needs this. He needs to get out and golf, and go back to normalcy. My mom and dad really struggled with that. I've had friends offer to go with me. I was like, no, I'm in a good place. Like, I really don't want anyone in there to negatively affect my mentality and my approach to getting the news, both ways, good or bad. And so I was like,
I'm sorry, but I don't want you to.
and that really kind of hurt my mom and dad, I think. But I was firm and I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm in a really good place and I don't need human support right now. And I don't need human emotions in there because I've got this tunnel with me and God. Like, I'm just, the only place I'm looking is up, and it's my bubble. I had created that bubble. That's when my bubble got crystal clear. So my bubble was strengthening before, kind of unconsciously. Thursday, I put conscious effort into that. And that bubble got so crystal clear. I could see exactly what I was meant for and what I'm here to do. I had too much support, right? And I needed that bubble to kind of just be with God and support myself and find my own mental strength and emotional strength. My whole podcast right now is about lacking support, right? So how do we find that correlation there? When I was thinking about this, I'm like, wow, they need that same thing for a completely opposite reason. They're lacking support. Well, you need to build your bubble and you need to get in there with the Lord and you need to say, Lord, bring me closer to you. I don't need human support. I don't need human emotions, good or bad. I need you. I need you to be in this bubble with me, to bring me clarity on what it is that I'm meant to do. My business, what am I doing with my business? Am I serving a purpose? Or is it just kind of, just for finances? And if it is just for finances, I think you need to kind of dig a little deeper and figure out what it is that you want to do with that business and why. That's really going to solidify that bubble. What is it in there that's strengthening that relationship with you and the Lord? And why do you need that? You need emotional support, mental support, and you need faith-based support. And God's the only one that you should be asking for that. So I know that's kind of tough to hear because, you're like, but my husband, like he's, this is why you build the bubble. My second point is to protect that bubble at all costs. Me telling my family that they could not come to that meeting with me to hear news, good or bad, to support me, their child, it was tough. But I stood firm on that boundary because I knew that's what was best for me. By them seeing that strength that I had and that relationship with God, it brought them closer to God. It brought them more peace, knowing that I was okay. If they knew that I was a hot mess, they were going to be a hot mess. But knowing that I was right there with God and I was in that place of just power, it gave them a peace of mind. And I've seen a difference in their behavior now. It's not every time they see me, it's not,
Um, is this the last time I'm going to see you?
Because that's what it is. If you get diagnosed, you're going to die the next day, right? You know what? I left that meeting feeling so blessed and I left with a smile on my face because I was like, well, now I know. I don't know that I could have handled that without that whole process of building my bubble. Another part of protecting your bubble, communicate, right? You've got to communicate with the people you love. If you're setting those boundaries, they have to know why. And so if you don't know that why, you can't communicate it to other people and then they can't abide by those boundaries and your whole bubble crumbles. Set boundaries for a firm reason and then stick to it. Don't let anybody penetrate that bubble. I do want to tell you a couple things that I thought about. I'm like, when I'm telling them to build this bubble, what are they going to think? And the first thing I thought that you're going to take from this is you're going to go, oh, I'm supposed to build a bubble and shut people out. And that's not what this is. So number one, no. Your bubble is not created to shut people out. You communicate. It actually opens a bigger line of communication and a deeper line of communication, because now they understand where you're coming from, what's in your bubble, and why you're in there. Number two, it is intended to give you focus, to give you a place to thrive, and a place to build your relationship with God. It is not a bubble that is intended to cause anyone else anything but blessings, seeing you thrive and strengthen within that bubble. Okay, so this bubble is emotional, it is mental, and it is spiritual. That's it. No physical boundaries. There's no negative energy with it. It's all a safe place for you to develop that strength within yourself to where you don't need support from anyone else, because you're getting it from yourself that has been given to you from the Lord. I know this was a very faith-based podcast, but I feel like that's what I was called to do through this whole process. I feel like God is calling me to show people, not necessarily to tell people, but I do have to tell you guys because you don't see me on an everyday basis, right? I feel like I have to show people the strength and the peace that comes along with a relationship with him. It's not just about going to church. It's not about just reading the Bible. It's about him to just be with you. Now, I sit in that chair and I'll read my devotional and I'll watch the videos. Sometimes I ask him for things. If you do not ask, you will not receive. But sometimes all I want is just to be closer to him. Lord, bring me closer to you. Help me with my unbelief. Help me throughout the day. That's what has been the most blessing for me throughout the day. I actually seek him and I talk to him. If I go golfing by myself, people probably think I'm crazy because I'm like talking. And I'm like,
Lord, that was a pretty horrible shot.
But thank you for giving me the opportunity to be out here and smell this grass and hear the birds chirping, hear the locusts going crazy, and building my memories and building my physical strength by being out here and exercising and being in your beauty. I'm going to get the next shot, So I hope you loved this podcast. I know I loved getting this off my plate, for one, because I've been wanting to share this news and to share like all the beauty that's come from that and how you can kind of really tap into your potential through tapping into your relationship upstairs. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Go follow me and share this. Follow me on Instagram at Trisha Maxwell Growth Coach, and TikTok and LinkedIn and Facebook and all the things. It's Trisha Maxwell Growth Coach. Shoot me a DM if you've got a story, if you need support, or if you need help building your bubble. I am here for you, friend, and God bless you. Go out and be blessed.